Hey, hi there, this is Murali Sundaram, your happiness coach, and today I'm here with the Pep Talks with the Happiness Coach Facebook Live. For the very first time, I'm doing a Facebook Live audio at 8:47 p.m. because this is the time where I generally go to sleep. So I'm doing something today which is absolutely out of my comfort zone right now, because 8:45 is a time where I just go to bed and 9 o'clock I sleep. So I am doing something which is completely out of my comfort zone today, of doing a Facebook Live audio at 8:47. Okay, so I sincerely thank each one of you joining this Facebook Live audio about this is the number one problem of 99% of people. Okay, so this is the topic of today's Facebook Live audio, and I'm going to wait for 30 more seconds for all of us to join so that I will start. This talk may go up to 20 minutes. And if you guys have any questions, you can also ask the question. If you want to share a comment, you can share a comment. And if you like to share this audio, you can also share. Okay, so I'm going to wait for a few more seconds, 10 more seconds for all of us to join, because I'm going to share something very, very interesting. Yesterday in the Facebook Live audio, okay, I told everyone that I'm going to do this one more time. And I even asked people, okay, what is your number one problem? And many of them shared their number one problem which they're facing in their life. Many of them sent personal messages to me because they want to know the answer for that number one problem. Can you please silence the ringing bell? Okay, I will do that, Kiran. Okay. I hope this is audible. Now, so many people have asked me what's the number one problem? Okay, when I asked that question, so many of them shared lots of their number one problem with me on personal inboxes. Today I'm going to talk about the number one problem of 99% of the people. Okay, Raj, I will address you how to handle rejection also. Okay, so just stay tuned. Today is a very special Facebook Live audio because I am doing a Facebook Live audio outside my comfort zone. What is outside my comfort zone is this time in which I am talking to you over Facebook, because this is the time where I generally get to sleep, 8:45 p.m. Yeah, I sleep at 8:45 p.m. Okay, for people who are thinking, for many people, I know that's the time where you get back home, or that's the time you may be thinking even what to cook for dinner. But that's the time where I go to sleep because I wake up at 4 a.m. in the morning. So many of us want to achieve more success in life. Many of us want more happiness in life. Okay, we want more profits in our business. We want more happy relationships, and we want our kids to be the best in the best. I hope that each and one of you listening, you all have lots and lots of expectation from life. We all know what to do to achieve what we really want. We all know that. Okay, let me give you an example of what it all we all know. We all know that eating junk food is injurious to health. We all know that, but we end up in eating a lot of junk food. We all know that we have to take care of our health. Thereby, it means we have to go for walking or swimming or jogging or do some yoga or exercise. We all know that, but we don't do that. We all know that we have to take action. We should not procrastinate. But almost 99% of them have this disease of procrastination. So the problem is we all know it. The problem is we don't do it, because I think it's a manufacturing defect of many human beings that knowing is called doing. The difference between a successful person and an unsuccessful person is the successful person takes action immediately, whereas the unsuccessful person is continuously thinking and thinking and thinking. The problem is 99% of the people are stuck on one thing. They are stuck on one interesting thing. That's the reason they all want more happiness, more money, but they don't achieve that because they are stuck on one thing. Would you like to know what is that one thing they are all stuck up with? Are you sure? You'd like to know that? Then that compels me to tell you a very interesting story. Let me share with you a very interesting story. This story which is very personal, and I love this story because this story happens in a village which is under the foothills of a beautiful mountain. There is a river and a stream, and at the end of the mountain there was a hut, and there were two monks who were living with their master, and they were servicing their master every single day. They clean up the hut, they clean up the place, they serve the food to the master, and they were so loyal to their master. One day the master asked them to go to the neighboring village and give a discourse to the people over there. And sincerely, both these young monks took the words of their master and they started walking. And they have to cross a river, which is the other side. The village is on the other side of the river. And the only way to cross is you just have to walk on the river, because it is approximately, on that day the river was little on a high tide, so more water was flowing. So they were a little hesitant, but then they decided, okay, let me just cross the river with the trust of the master. But they were about to cross the river, and they saw one lady, a young lady, walking here and there, little tensed and upset. She was very scared to cross the river. And she approached the monks and she said, can you help me to cross the river? And one monk said, okay, just get over my shoulder. I will help you to cross. Anyway, I'm going to cross. Just jump on my shoulder. The other young monk was absolutely stunned to see his friend lifting this young girl on his shoulder and crossing the river. And he was absolutely shocked, because his master has always taught never to touch a girl. And that's how he's been brought up. But he is seeing his friend who has lifted a young girl on his shoulder, and they were crossing the river. And once they crossed the river, they actually crossed the river, and the monk dropped that lady, and the lady thanked him a lot. But our friend was absolutely silent and looking at the other young monk. Why did he do such a sin of touching a young girl? And they were walking and walking and walking for another half an hour. There was a dead silence, and they were not at all talking about. And then he turned around and asked his friend, hey, what happened to you, man? You're not asking me anything. Why you're not talking? For a long time you're absolutely silent. And our friend asked him, okay, now can I ask you a question? I have a doubt which is there in my head. And the guy who carried the lady asked, the monk who carried the lady asked, okay, tell me, what's the question? Our master has always taught us not to touch any female, not to touch any lady. But I saw you lifting a lady on your shoulder and you are walking on the river. How is it not a sin? Is it not a mistake? Is it not the way we are supposed to follow our master? And the friend turned around and looked at him and asked him, hey, dear friend, I dropped the lady half an hour before at the riverbank, and you are still carrying that lady in your head for a long time. That's a very interesting story to understand, that many of us are stuck too much into our own thoughts. 99% of the people are stuck inside our mind. And you know where they are stuck? 99% of them are stuck between the past or to the future. Just observe your own mind right now, or right from the morning, and do a little bit of memory recall, and you will understand this, what I just said. 99% of the time, our mind is on the past, continuously thinking about all the past incidences, past irritations, past worries and traumas. The mind is again and again and again and again and again and again playing the same movie. If that past is boring, the mind plays the future. 99% of the problem is this: they have never learned how to stay here in this particular moment. Because the difference between the 1% and the 99% is this. The 1%, if you look very closely, 1% of the population is holding 90-95% of the whole wealth of the planet. But we all want more money. Why do you think that only 1% of the population is holding this much money? Do you want to know why? Because that 1% of the population have learned how to put attention onto what they want. The number one problem of 99% of all the people in the world is they lack one rarest commodity called attention. Am I right in saying? Many of us lack attention, which is the most important commodity right now in our life. Since we lack attention, we have no idea what we really want. Wherever the mind goes, we go along with them. And that's the reason we end up in chasing things which we don't even know what we want. When I asked the question yesterday, what is your number one problem? Lots of people have asked me various questions, okay? Many of them said, my number one problem is work-life balance, my number one problem is lack in relationships, number one problem is friendship, number one problem is money. So they all wanted to they all want more. They want to solve their problem, okay? If you want to solve the problem, think like a successful business leader. The difference between a successful and unsuccessful person is, an unsuccessful person, when they see a problem, they run away from the problem. Whereas a successful person, when they see a problem, they run towards the problem, because they know inside the problem there is an equal and a greater opportunity. That's the difference between 1% and the 99% of population. So it's very, very important right now for each one of us listening, okay, and attending this particular session is all about where is your attention right now in life. If your attention is going to be on the problem, you would have heard a saying, where your attention is, their energy moves over there, okay? So if your attention is towards all the problems in your life, the more the problem is going to happen. But if your attention is more towards the solution, the more that is going to happen. That's how law of attraction also works, my dear friends. So it's very, very important for you to learn how to stay attentive. It's very, very important to each one of us to learn how to train our mind to stay in this very moment, because that's the difference between that 1% and the 99%. They have learned how to stay here and now. Is it a difficult task or is it an easy task? Staying in the here and now, it looks very simple, but actually it is not. Though it looks very simple, it's not easy. So it means you need to stay a little bit outside your comfort zone and you need to practice. Why? Because we are dealing with the most notorious villain, and that's none other than our own mind. Our monkey mind keeps on jumping from the past to the future, and our role is to bring the monkey mind to the current moment. The more we learn how to tame the monkey to the present moment, the more our attention flows in the here and now, and the more we become more happier, and our clarity of thinking becomes very strong, and we make the right decisions. So the number one requirement for each one of us is to practice here and now. This is not a spiritual discourse. This is not a religious talk. This is all about our life, because each one of us, we want more money, we want better relationships, we want more happiness, we want more success in our business life, we want more profits. And that is all possible only when we live in the now. So the solution right now available with us is to practice this. I'm sure that many of you listening to this, you already know, okay, what is the requirement. But knowing is not doing, only doing is knowing. Okay, that's the reason I started this pep talks. Pep talk stands for Peace, Energy and Prosperity Talks. Using Facebook as a medium, I'm going to talk a lot about my personal experience and wisdom. So if you guys have any question, you can post your question below, and if I know the answer, I will honestly answer you. If I don't know the answer, I will still tell you I don't know. Okay, so if you have any questions, each one of you listening and watching this Facebook live audio. If you have any question on the topic you just heard right now, you can just post the question, okay? I will be very happy to answer your question. Because yesterday, one of the other interesting question, I will wait for your questions, and at the same time, let me answer one of the other question. One of my friend asked me, how can I make more money? I have 5,000 rupees, can I make more money? That's a very common question I end up in getting. How do I make more money? Because, when I go and introduce myself as a happiness coach, everyone asks me, how do you teach happiness? Okay. Honestly, I can't teach happiness to anyone. I can only teach you how not to be unhappy. But ironically, many of them think money is happiness. So question here is, can money buy happiness? How many of you listening to this audio, okay, audio live, think that money can buy happiness? Can you just post your comments over there? Do you think money can buy happiness? Just say yes or no. I will wait for your answer. Thank you, Raj. Agree knowing but not doing. Okay. How many of you listening to this audio believe that money can buy happiness? Because I'm going to talk about money making in a while, how to make more money. But before that, I'm going to ask you this question. Do you know that money can buy happiness? Do you believe money can buy happiness? Yes or no? Because sometime back, one of my friends asked me this question: can money buy happiness? Actually, it was on a debate on a stage where it's a panel discussion, and everyone on the stage were saying, no, money can't buy happiness. I just looked up at them and said that, yes, my dear friends, money can actually buy happiness. And they were all stunned. They were all looking at me and said, what? Money can buy happiness? How? Then I just looked at them and see, when you want to buy a new phone, say for example you want to buy a new iPhone, okay, and you're dreaming and desiring about buying this phone, okay, until you buy the phone, there's lots of pleasure that builds in you up, and the minute you buy the phone, that one day or the other 1 or 2 days, okay, 1 or 2 days, the happiness will be there with the new iPhone until you understand. But after that, the whole happiness dies. That is what happens when money can money buy happiness on things? No. Money cannot buy happiness on things. But money can buy happiness when you invest on experiences. Absolutely yes. Money can buy happiness when you invest on experience. Instead of buying that 100,000 rupees iPhone, how about investing that 100,000 rupees on an amazing family holiday and stay in a luxurious resort, do an adventure with your family? Now that experience, absolutely yes. Whenever you recall that experience, you will be happy. That's the reason I said money can buy happiness. Now the reason why I asked this question is, yesterday one of my fan and follower asked me this question: can I make more money? How do I make more money? This is one question that is lingering in everybody's head, okay? If someone tells you that I don't want to make money, let me tell you honestly, they're just lying to you up front, okay? Whether you like it or not, each and one of us need this necessary evil monster called money, okay? So today we will not talk too much about money making. I will keep that for another pep talk, another day's pep talk. But how can you make more money? It's a very simple understanding. The more the value you add to people, the more the money you will make. For example, just take a pen and write how much money you want to make. Okay, just randomly take a paper and pen and write how much money you want to make. Once you do that, add 2 more zeros at the end of it. Yeah, 100x actually we can make the money. But how do you make that money? This is like you work in a company and you go to your boss and tell your boss, I need more money from this month onwards. Please increase my salary. The boss will look at you and say, what, are you gone nuts? No one is going to give you an increase in your salary. No client is going to give you more money until you are going to add more value to them. The more the value you're going to add to other people, the evil monster called money becomes an angel to you. Absolutely. Many people think money is bad. money is not good. But let me tell you, money is absolutely good, because money is a good energy. In our country, we respect money as a goddess Mahalakshmi. So it's an angel, it's a goddess. But when you think that it's an evil monster, that's where we are not. Then we are actually thinking of how can I get more money without adding more value. So how do you add more value? Just go and help people around the world. If you want 10x more income, ask yourself, am I increasing or am I helping 10x more people? Am I serving 10x more clients? Am I bringing 10x more value to the company where I'm working? So the more the value we add, the more is the money we make. So that's a simple message from my side for that question of how can I make more money. And guys, if you have any questions, please do shoot the questions. Otherwise, it's already, I'm speaking for the last 20 minutes more. Wow, that's interesting. I'm speaking for the last 20 minutes or so, and I have not prepared. It's not a prepared speech. I'm just speaking as it comes in my head with you. And I would like to continue this pep talks. If you guys really like it, please do comment below, and I don't mind sharing my knowledge and wisdom with each and one of you. And because life is all about sharing and learning, that's what I personally believe, that everyone are teachers and everyone are learners. If you like this Facebook Live audio, I would like to continue doing this pep talks, peace, energy and prosperity talks. And if you have any questions on anything in life, please shoot the question, which can bring more clarity, thereby happiness. This is Murali Sundaram, your happiness coach, signing off. Thank you. Bye-bye.